Here's the crackers thing. For a company with 500 reviews, it all started through an eBay store. So I was still DJing at night, I still got some income coming in, but with regards to plumbing, it was dead. Nearly 5 months of nothing happening. And for whatever reason, I just thought, you know what? I used to sell records on eBay. I wonder if I can sell boilers. I put a couple of ads on eBay. Hey presto, about a week later, 2 weeks later, got a phone call. It wasn't word of mouth. It was advertising, marketing. We did roadside advertising, Sheffield United at the back of the South Stand. We had ads outside Asda. They were everywhere. And I'm thinking, right then, carry on like this. We're going to be turning over £1 million.
Wow, this episode with Tommy Lee-Zmuda was incredible. So good, we've split it into 2 parts. The depth of knowledge that he has, the experience that he's had really shape who he is today and the value he can offer. He really just shares so incredibly openly. It's fantastic to listen to. You're going to come away with so much that you can actually take action on. And he talks about his failures as well as his successes. It's an incredible episode. Let's dive in. So Tommy, you've talked quite a lot about this mountain that you climbed and how successful that you were on the marketing side. I'd really like to delve in a little bit deeper there. What did you start doing that started working? How did it work? And how was that so successful?
Yeah, sure. Well, let's go back to the start of it. As already mentioned, I used to run a record shop. And when I was running the record shop, it's towards the back end of the vinyl era for any of them DJs out there, before MP3s were really a big thing. And what I found was working at the record shop was selling vinyl on eBay. So it took me a long time to get qualified, and then once I got qualified, I was just like your typical plumber. Full central heating systems, bathrooms, outside taps, trying to fix something, but not being very good at fixing things. I was just a general plumber, relying on word of mouth. And then one summer, 2012, that word of mouth became a little quiet. And 1 month went past, 2 months went past, 3 months went past. Luckily, I'd still got my foot through the door DJing, so I was still DJing at night. I still got some income coming in, but with regards to plumbing, nothing. It was dead. I think it was nearly 5 months of was wanting a boiler fitting. Someone who I didn't know. It wasn't word of mouth. It was advertising, marketing was working. That particular August, I can remember getting 3 jobs on, taking my cousin's young lad out of school. I think it was out of his school holidays. I think it was 14 at the time, and I'm dragging him around fitting boilers. And I thought, hang on, this is all right. I'm making hundreds. I'm not just getting paid a day rate, £100, £150 a day. I'm making £300-400 a day here through working for people that didn't know me. It wasn't word of mouth. So that's where it started. That's where I came up with the initial idea of fixed price boilers, 5-star service. Although it wasn't necessarily 5-star service at the time, it's what I moved into later on. But the idea that you could speak to somebody over the phone, ask them the right questions, and come up with the idea that, this is just a straight combi boiler swap. Some of the questions that I developed into the system then kind of came up on Boxed years later. Okay, so if Boxed, this was 2012, back end of 2012. So the following year, 2013, things are going pretty well for me. the person who helped design my eBay page was developing websites, and she said to me, should we build a website? Yeah, absolutely. So the first website was built 2013, followed by another website in 2014. It was probably about 2014 that first website started working. Don't seem to remember it much 2013. Maybe it was. I don't have the records on that, but certainly by 2014, I was in a race, a 2-horse race with someone else in Sheffield that I have a lot of respect for, and it was just me and that firm trying to get to number 1 spot in Sheffield. At this point, because what year we're going to now? 2014. We did, as a team, because I went from sole trader to 4 members of staff, 125 boilers in year 2 of the company. Went from 25 boilers as a sole trader when the eBay store kicked in to 125 boilers with a team of 4 of us. And obviously the money's coming in by this point. And if the money's coming in, what is a small business owner going to do other than go on holiday and put it down as deposit on a house? You're going to put it back into your business, because this time next year, Rodney, I was looking at projections. I was looking at it and I was thinking, right then, carry on like this, and we're going to be turning over £1 million by 2017 or something. I can remember real thinking, this time next year, Rodney, I'm on to this. So we're throwing money at the wall. It was literally wherever we saw a space. I saw a space and thought, I can get my logo on that wall. I can get my phone number on that wall. And we did roadside advertising. We did Sheffield United at the back of the Cop, at the back of the South Stand. We had ads outside Asda. They were everywhere. Our Yell account manager once said to me, because we were spending a lot of money with Yell.com, she once said to me, I can't go anywhere in Sheffield without seeing your logo. And it was true, because we were just splashing money. She liked coming to see us, because she was always walking away with a bonus of making another sale. So by this point, 2015, I've still got the data on this. We spent £13,000 on what I'll say is advertising. We'd got 2 websites live by this point. First one was very dated now, but it worked. You've got to think back 2012, 2015. It worked. Okay, this was like before responsive websites were a thing. Okay, the second one, I'll be honest, it wasn't very good, but I didn't know enough about it, and we were paying for advertising to send customers to a website that was not optimized for customer service. Either way, we kept on getting leads, we kept on installing boilers, we kept on taking on more and more staff. And what I referred back to earlier on, getting to the top of that mountain, I think that was 2016. We did 185 boilers as a team, which I know, there's a lot of businesses out there, established, successful businesses that do a hell of a lot more than that. And I know there's a lot of businesses out there that got into eco, doing boilers on grant and basically doing 2 a day. But this was face-to-face combat, face-to-face quotations on homeowners. And and anybody in our industry knows that dealing with homeowners and having to jump through the hoops to keep 185 homeowners happy. But the quotations, clearly, if we were, I can remember it was 55% win ratio, around about that. We were double bubble, 350 quotes that year. that had to be surveyed and processed. And out of that, 183 boilers got installed. And that's where everyone would look at what I describe as the Eiffel Tower and think, oh, well, that's a successful business. But it wasn't.
But you must have been making money to get there, like, surely. Like, how? Because it went on quite a long time to get up to that scale. So where was it that it wasn't actually, something sustainable? Because there must have been profit somewhere to keep going.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? Parkinson's law. Our friend Mike Mikowicz talks a lot about Parkinson's law, particularly around profit first. It also, to some extent, is described in Pumpkin Plan, in 4-Hour Workweek. There's loads of these business books that we listen to that refer back to Parkinson's law. Whatever resources you have as a homeowner or as a business owner, you use. Yeah, simple as that. So whatever money were coming in, because this time next year, Rodney, I thought I was going to be like a millionaire, we were spending. More vans, more staff, more advertising. So it was actually around 2016 when I was spending so much money with Yale.com that I started looking at the data and thinking, right then, out of these 350 leads, for instance, how many leads are coming from Yale.com? How many are coming from Checkatrade? How many are coming from Which? How many are coming from Worcester? How many is coming from Ideal, from Valent? How many is coming from that sign that we put up outside Asda? One, I think. How many leads are coming through PPC? Your deal with Yale.com on PPC, and how many leads are coming via Google? Oh yeah, I found you on Google. All right, yeah. And we're tracking all that data, and that's how we, it's a famous thing that's we talk about on the training, is we track the data down to £1.40 per lead via your website. When you're taking the 55% win ratio on average, it comes to £2.41 per paying customer who wanted a boiler installation, which is insane. It's insanely low compared to, at the time, getting confirmed customers from Which and Checkatrade for £130, £150. And the final moment when I cancelled with Yale, bear in mind, it did work in the early years. I'm not denying that. It worked in the early years, but when I got into tracking the data and I was watching, well, it's not doing as well as what it was 3-4 years ago, that's when we summarised, well, actually, every paying customer via Yale.com is costing £303. Straight off the bottom line. Compared to his website here is generating customers for £2.40. Where are we going to put his effort? So over the years, as we peaked that mountain and ultimately was doing a lot of boilers for a low amount of money with the staff, we started to come back down the mountain, started spending less every year on advertising and putting more focus into not just the SEO, but the type of customer that we were going to be serving. Rather than going after the cheap, rather than going after the volume, it was going after the more quality customers from the nicer end of town, the customers that are going to pay for more money for them brands. More importantly, the customers that are going to more likely to get you on a service for the next 5 to 10 years, rather than the customer that was just going for the bottom of the barrel boiler installation. Whoever quotes the cheapest gets a job. And when you contact them the following year to remind them that they need a boiler service, they just ignore you. Yeah. So it was like an evolution. But it all started, here's the crackers thing, for a company with 500 reviews, it all started through an eBay store, doing boilers for £1,000.
So what actually happened then? Just to summarize that, is that there was learnings that you already had about marketing. You kicked it off. There were things that you were doing which were the right things to be doing, and then as you started to gain momentum there, that you were like, right, we've got all this cash. There's all these other marketing channels that we can open up. But what you weren't doing at the start was actually measuring the return on investment for each of those channels. And that's the thing that you brought in later, right? That then fixed that problem.
Yeah. And this is what I see in the industry time and time again. It's like, it's like measuring up in the toilets. How many boilers have you installed? Yeah. Which clearly, the more white boxes that goes in, obviously them white boxes per day is worth more than most other work that we do. So yeah, I can see that is a stat to look at, but it's only a stat. A white box does not equal profit; it just equals money in. And yeah, we started off cheap, started off with getting busy. Just like I see in the industry, I got too busy for myself, so took on one apprentice, started training up one apprentice, then another apprentice became available, so I was training up two. I got them both qualified, got them out in a van, brought my now wife into the business as well, so then it was a team of four, but we just kept on getting busier and busier, and every time I got busy, the answer was get another set of hands, get another van. So we, built up to a modest 7 members of staff with running on 3 vans. Obviously, the overheads went through the roof, because where are you going to put 3 vans? Where are you going to put 7 members of staff? We had to take on a unit, and then that just totally opened up another expense. Where one of my failures was, I think, is when you're taking on more staff, people think, right, so I've got more capacity. If I have more capacity, I can sell more time, I can make more money. But where people misjudge this is every member of staff that you take on needs management time. And not only do they need investing time into managing them, but now the work that you were turning away before, they're doing that, but you need even more work. So you've now got to spend more money on advertising / or more time put into marketing, and then you get to the point. Well, now we need a unit. So it's just part of the story that we want to share in Built to Last. That it's not a race. It's you've got to slow down, put the foundations in first. Your time, your money, understand what it is that we're actually building. Going back to the analogies, are we building a bungalow for just our family, or are we building an apartment block that's going to hold 6 to 8 members of staff? Or bloody hell, I've got ginormous kahunas and I'm going to build a Colosseum. Well, if that's the case, you're going to need mighty big foundations, and you're going to need specialist people to be part of your team.
But it's all about, at the start, defining those objectives and putting something in place to measure that. Because almost my biggest frustration with when you speak to marketeers is, okay, they want to focus on clicks to the website or even cost per lead. Like, that is never going to be your actual objective. Your objective could be, okay, I want either a profitable customer or even I'm measuring actual customer lifetime value, because I've got the infrastructure set up to work on a repeat basis with that customer, and therefore I know I can spend this amount to generate this return with a customer over X amount of time. But if you're just focusing in on, oh great, I can generate a lead at £20 a lead, £2 a lead, whatever it is, it may not matter if that's not actually converting into that objective, and that objective is never going to be that high up the funnel. And so defining what it is that you want and having that process and those systems in place to measure it is so important from the start.
Yeah. And this we could open up and write tin of worms here talking about marketing, okay? And that is, it's definitely something I see with marketers. It's all about top of funnel. They don't think, and hang on, if you've studied marketing, why are you not educating me, the non-marketeer, on lifetime value?
It's too
fair
slow.
enough. We do, if we are going to be a growing company, definition of growing, more people, more customers. If we're going to be a growing company, we need to address top of funnel. Yes, we need that. We might not want to be a growing company. We might have got to wherever it is that we need to be, and we're happy at that level. We just may want to improve our funnel, improve our customer journey, improve the lifetime value of each and every customer. And this is something that I going back to, the people that are only looking at the number of white boxes that they're putting on the wall, of very good. How many of them are you going to be back to next year to service the boiler? Because that, when you sit down and you do the maths, let's say you make 800 quid for putting that white box on the wall, which, yes, it's not just in the day, because we have to factor in the fact that we went out and quoted on that job. We have to factor in the fact that we had to go out and quote on the other job that we didn't win in order to get that one job. Let's say it's 50% win ratio. So I've quoted 2 jobs to win the one job, to install the one job, to do the paperwork for the one job, which equals £800. But the thing is, if you plan this out correctly, not only do a fantastic job of putting that white box on the wall and serving that customer with a 5-star service, but you put the thinking and the planning into, I'm now going to sell the service plan to this customer as well, you could easily double your money over the next 10 years by doing £80 services. Not to mention, not just the lifetime value of that customer that you're serving, but the lifetime value of all the customers that customer is going to introduce you to. Yeah? So arguably, there's more money in maintaining that customer relationship beyond the first instance. Now, obviously, we're talking to all trades here, so it's not just about the boiler industry. Some trades cannot have that after sales. I work very closely with Sparky, and Sparky struggle to get back, do a test every 5 years, every 10 years. So I know it's different, but for them people in the heating industry, stop and think about this. How are we going to get maximum lifetime value out of each and every customer? How are we going to focus on the repeat business? How are we going to focus on encouraging that customer to make a referral to their friends, family, and neighbours?
I think also, though, whilst for electricians it is harder because you don't have that, okay, the boiler needs to be serviced every year, so you need to come back. Homeowners are gonna constantly need access and a relationship with, well, any trade, but in that example, an electrician. So you can still be thinking about it in terms of a lifetime value, because if you are trustworthy, super impressive, communicate well, all of that stuff, you are going to be the person, your business is going to be the business that gets called when that homeowner has an issue in future. So like having the ability to measure and track that is super important, and you can there's still a lot you can do in terms of even setting up like repeat communications to remind people who you are. I mean, I know you probably talk about a lot of this. Some people have like sort of fridge magnets or like things that make it easy for you to be there when you're needed.
Yeah. Top of mind. You know?
I don't think listeners will forgive me if I don't ask. Yell, what's tell me what the beef is.
Oh, Yell.com.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's my Sheffield accent, isn't it?
Yeah.
I said Yell.com.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Totally happy. No beef.
No beef, mate.
Yeah.
No beef.
Okay.
It's just my accent. You can't pick out.
Yeah. All right.
Yell.com. I have to sometimes say, M for mother.
Yeah.
Okay. No beef. I was still pretty friendly with the sales manager who left Yell.com. She was lovely. She was just doing what she'd been trained. What the problem was, and I think this is something that you've experienced at your former company. What the problem was is that the sales process was smooth. It was it was the product where it fell down. There were three. I wonder about three because I can definitely remember two main products that we invested into. Going maybe back end of 2013, I started LSPs, so local sponsored prominence, or LPS. Okay, it's basically top 3 listings. You had all the free listings underneath, but if you want to be guaranteed, and it was basically like a Google search, but you're going to Yell. If you want to be guaranteed to be in them top 3 spots, are you sponsoring it? And I sponsored pretty much most of the North and the Midlands. Okay, the second one was PPC, which just outright was disgusting. I think holding into I think that's where the beef comes from. That's beef and gravy. It was a 6-month contract which you couldn't get out of. They would prolong it and keep saying, yes, we'll give you another month free on the house. And I'm saying, I don't want another month. You're wasting my time. From the 6 months, and we might have had 2 leads, but I can remember we had 1 job. And basically the cost of the 6 months of that contract were, 8 times more than what the gross profit on the job was. Don't forget we had to pay for a boiler as well. So I got 1 job out of a 6-month contract, which was about 8 months of them delivering PPC services for us. So the product was useless. £53 a click. 1 click came through because they used to send reports to be absolutely transparent with their customers. And me being one for data, I've analysed it and I've flagged up, hang on, this click was £20, this click was £18, but this little piggy was £53. Can someone explain how your computer has let a click go through for £53? Yeah. Well, I think we should move on from that PPC conversation.
Let's move on. Who do you find inspiring in the heating industry? Like, who should people follow? Who's doing a lot?
Ray Stafford is my undercover. I've got an undercover crush on Ray Stafford. I'd like to call him Yoda.
Okay, what does Ray do?
Does he inspire people? Yeah, I think he inspires people. He's a leader. Yeah. He's a leader.
Just for anyone who doesn't know, what business does he run?
All right, Williams / trade only. What I really admire about Ray is he gives his time. Gives his time and his experience. Wait, he barely ever mentions Williams. He's giving up his time to help the industry, and that I've got a lot of respect for. Yeah.
Nice.
That was like a quick fire question and answer, wasn't it?
So I'd throw that one in.
Yeah.
eBay, you sort of had the idea, let's sell a boiler on eBay. Was anyone else doing that? Did you search and see, somebody's selling it? This could work.
Yeah. There was competition. There was people around the UK. But I smashed it. I absolutely smashed it. At the time, it was, 8 brands. There were a lot of brands. To me, it was a white box with 6 pipes coming out of it. People was using, I guess this is where I started understanding and learning about SEO. Were people going to eBay to look for a boiler? No, there wasn't. They were searching on Google for particular models. And at the time, because I've not seen this happen, but you search for particular products. In fact, yeah, you search on anything, it's going to come up with the Amazon products right at the top, doesn't it? You search on Google, if a product is available, it puts it in the sales across the top. So I think that's what was working. People were searching for, Ideal Logic 24, Valent 831, if you can remember an 831, Glowworm Betacom, etc., etc. And they were finding this eBay store. But what I kind of had done differently is I'd branded it. It wasn't just that typical white box that you've got from the manufacturers, or what you've scraped off a low quality one off the internet. I'd actually gone and put our brand stamp across it, and made it, put a lot of time and effort into writing a description of this product is, if you want XYZ, you can't get that. But if you have this ABC, you can talk to us. To the point that I saw that other people were starting to use my images to populate their, even on their website. I kid you not, I've seen people using my images on their websites. I'll let it pass. It pass.
Yeah, and but when you were selling on eBay, it was like it was fully installed. I mean, I'm thinking of eBay, I think of like you just people just selling products, but you were actually selling a service, which is super interesting.
I was selling a product. The installation was free.
Nice.
Yeah, providing your current boiler meets building regulations and fits into this formula, XYZ, horizontal flue. Would you like a magnetic filter with that? I've got to think 2012 here. I advise a magnetic filter. And a lot of people, potentially using eBay were after cheap. A lot of boilers back in the day, early days, might not have had a magnetic filter. In 2012, they were just wanting the cheap of the cheap, but that's what the regulations were at the time. It'd be interesting to have a look on eBay now and see what's going on. Would I recommend it to anybody now? If it gets you started, I think you're going to attract better customers if you have a website that is glowing with 5-star reviews and a well-written website with your own branding. We talk about perceived value. What was a perceived value for my business in 2012, 2013? I was just a scruffy sole trader in a scruffy van, turning up to install a cheap boiler. Fast forward 5 years, we're an established team with a brick and mortar premises, with branded vans and 300, 400 5-star reviews. The customers back then that was wanting cheap of cheap were not attracted to us, or certainly we weren't winning them jobs. But the customers on the posh end of town who were willing to pay £800, £900 a day for the labour to install that white box, it's all about perceived value, which is a lot of what we talk about in the marketing section of the course.
So final questions then. We've talked a lot about setting out at the beginning of any journey and defining what you want to achieve and setting goals. What do you want to achieve in this next chapter of your life, I guess? Like, what are your goals?
Number one, spend as much time with my family. Bingo. That's it. It's about time for me. All the way through this journey, it's never been about money. It's about time. That's what drives me. Number two, helping other people. You know, I really enjoy getting a thank you from someone when I've spent half an hour on the phone with them. Didn't have to have a monetary value to it. It's the fact that they appreciated, you know, help and advice. If I can multiply that by 10 or 100 or 1,000, fantastic. The key for me is creating the content, creating the learning to get people to think differently, to help guide them. I'm not saying there's a one size fits all. I'm not saying that this built to last online training course will make you, this time next year, Rodney, it's going to make you £1 million. It's not. There's other people out there with shiny white teeth that may promise you a 7-figure business. That's not me. It's, look, let's get the foundations in. Let's understand what it is that you're trying to achieve. Let's get it so that you've got the time. You get your time back first, because if you get your time back, you can choose to spend it with your loved ones, do the things that you like with the people that you love, or when you've got your time back, you can invest it into your business, or you've got your time back, you can go and sell it again and you can make more money. But it's all about learning to control time. Yeah. And all, you know, just look through the reviews on our website, all the way through them reviewed. It's all about people being pointed out to investigate this. It's not a blueprint. It's a framework. Every business is different. Every person is different. Every person's journey is different. So no one can say is one size fits all. This is the way it's going to happen. We've just got to get the knowledge to walk down the path and have choices. We've got choices where we go left, where we go right. But unless we actually do something about it, we're not going anywhere. We're just going to keep on walking around in the woods. I see a fair few people like sponges getting the knowledge, as much knowledge as possible. Oh, I've read 3 books this month. All right, yeah. How much time have you put to one side to not be on the tools? How much time have you put to be in the office and working on your business? I can't because I'm busy. Getting loads of knowledge, brilliant. But you've got to put the time to one side to actually start implementing that knowledge. Something that I practice myself and what I advise a lot of people is an information diet. Yeah, right. You've read them 5 books, them big hitters, bestsellers, Profit First, Pumpkin Plan, Oversubscribed, 4-Hour Work Week. You know, go on and on and on. Ray Stafford should do one. You've read them books, brilliant. When are you going to start implementing it? I can't, I'm busy. But they'll keep on absorbing more and more information, watching lots more YouTube channels, lots more podcasts, which are good, you know, if it inspires people. But you've got to sacrifice. I think maybe that's the wrong word. Sacrifice, invest, however you want to look at it. Every Friday morning, every Monday morning, I'm not going to go out and work. Yes, I could go out and make another 150 quid. Yes, I could go out and make another 300 quid. Yeah, but the thing is, no one's going to build your business for you. You keep on doing that, in 10 years' time, you've made another, however much, 150 quid equals per week. But what did you do with it? Oh, bought some nice jeans, went on an holiday, started buying some slightly nicer wine, you know, it was £8 a bottle of wine. Yeah, but you didn't invest into your business, and you're in the same place now as what you were 10 years ago. Is that right? Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So the
see it all the time.
The key is to actually start. That's the hardest part about any of this. Anything that's like a big shift or a change, something you want to achieve, is just start. I think that's really what you're saying here, and that is the biggest thing that I think you could take away is take action. It's actually one of our company values. Just
and perhaps it doesn't have to be in peak season. It doesn't have to be October, November, February, when that half a day that you're or full day that you're giving up could actually be paying you £500, £600 or more. Maybe not. Maybe in peak season you cash in like a fisherman in fishing season. I'm not sure if they have a fishing season. But it's kind of that knowledge of, look, I'm going to smash it for this number of months because the other side of Easter, it's going to start slowing down. And then you just get into a routine that actually, yes, the other side of Easter through to September, you do work 3 days a week or you do work 4 days a week, and you invest that time into your business or doing the things that you like with the people that you love.
Fantastic. Finally, then, you've talked a lot about you've touched on it, how you can help people. Just give us a rundown in terms of what you're doing now, how you can help people. Here's your opportunity to plug your services.
Oh, hello.
Go for it.
Okay. Built to Last, the training has been around for the last 3 years. Please go along to theboilerbusiness.co.uk/reviews and check out how many times people say game changing. Okay. First and foremost, we deliver business training specifically for the plumbing and heating industry. It is foundations. We spoke about foundations today. We've spoken about marketing and we've spoken about systems. Beyond that, we do have a full program, a full 6-month program. Beyond that, or as part of that, we have a members club, right? When people are in the members club, it's a small community. We've got 40 heating businesses in there. The knowledge that is shared, the motivation that goes as part of this members club. What happens in members club stays in members club. Okay, it's really I won't go too far into it. Just check out the reviews. theboilerbusiness.co.uk/reviews. What's new for this coming year is we're starting expanding the team here. It's not just business training. What is coming out from underneath the hood is a partnership that I've got with Matt, to work on Payaka Heating Accelerator. Payaka Heating Accelerator is basically going to be the CRM system for the heating industry. Boom. Just like that. We're building customer journeys. We're building in products. We're building in everything, or certificates as well, all pre-built into a CRM system that is just ready to go for the UK heating industry. Beyond that, what have I been looking at this morning is SEO and I'm building websites. So, it may take a few more months to get all the pieces in place, but what will be on offer via the boiler business is industry support. There's a community, 1,500 people in that community. Industry support, very friendly, by the way. Business training is available. You've got the free training, then we've got the paid training, marketing support, and systemization support. So it's the full bag specifically for the heating industry.
So if people want to keep up to date with that stuff, the best place they should go right now, is that the Facebook group?
Facebook group to get into the community.
Just to get some exposure.
100% get in the community.
What's it called?
Facebook, The Boiler Business, Facebook / The Boiler Business, or just search The Boiler Business Community. You can't miss it, 1,500 people in there. Also, the website, I think it's fair to say now, the website's about ready to go. So anybody wants to come out and find out a little bit more what we're up to, it's the boilerbusiness.co.uk.
Cool. Excellent. Tommy, it's been fantastic talking to you. There is so much more we could cover, and I'm sure we will in future. But we'll leave it there for now. We'll leave people wanting more. Thanks very much for everyone listening. Thanks very much for spending your time with us. And
no problem.
We'll speak again very soon.
Toodle pip.
Cheers. If you're listening to the show, please hit the follow or subscribe button. It helps all the guests that you're listening to on the show, and it helps us deliver more episodes full of top business tips.